seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish, and today we're going to be recapping the Texans and Cowboys preseason game. The Texans are now 2-0 in preseason, and they beat the Cowboys 20-14. And this game was more of a defensive game, and our defense really stole the show. And the player of the game was Charles Omenihu, who did amazing. He had 3 total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 QB hits, and 1 fumble recovery. And that fumble recovery was caused by Jacob Martin, who also had 1 sack. And then Lonnie Johnson, a guy who has getting a lot of good reviews in camp, saying that he's been getting a lot of interceptions, got an interception and returned it to the house for a pick 6, 53 yards, and he showed some great speed. So yeah, I think Lonnie Johnson's going to be a nice piece to watch in the future, in the upcoming games. And Terrence Brooks, a bubble guy, like kind of wanting to get into the 53-man roster, got an interception, so that's going to improve his stock. Shaheem Carter also got an interception, and he also had 2 passes defensed that caused the interception that Terrence Brooks eventually intercepted. So Shaheem Carter also got an interception on top of that. So, and if you didn't know, we made a video on Shaheem Carter, and he was a guy who Nick Saban praised a lot. He's kind of like a coach for them, and he's finally getting his opportunity now. And more about the defense, I think Ross Blacklock was solid. He was playing pretty well within the run game, especially. And this game compared to the Packers game, I think we allowed more chunk plays. Obviously, in the Packers game, we only allowed 7 points, but this game we allowed 14. But we definitely allowed more chunk plays, and Cooper Rush kind of tore us apart. He was 10 of 12 on passes for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. One was a screen to Tony Pollard, and one was a pass to Cedric Wilson. And I think that our defense, there's always room for improvement because we were terrible on screens. It's kind of been a recurring theme over the past few years. Screens have always killed us for some reason. So that's definitely something to improve upon. But the key takeaway here is how many takeaways we're getting. This past season, we only got 9 turnovers. But in these 2 preseason games, obviously it's against quarterbacks, but we've generated 7 turnovers, and that's already the same amount in 16 games. So that's really nice to see. Lovie Smith has been honing in on that consistently in training camp, and I think our players are responding well to that. And Vernon Hargreaves, he got the touchdown by Cedric Wilson was caught on him. So maybe the reports of him doing well in training camp haven't translated well. Vernon Hargreaves, a lot of people are asking him to get cut. We'll see. I don't know, but some other players who performed well, Jacob Martin, like I said, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. He was looking really explosive off the edge. Roy Lopez, he got 1 sack. He got 2 sacks in 2 games. That's looking really nice. He's definitely going to get starting snaps in the preseason. And Shaq Lawson is a guy who I thought would be more impressive, but he hasn't really been that much. I thought he was going to get a sack, maybe a sack in this game, but he wasn't all too impressive this game. So I think DeMarcus Walker outplayed Shaq Lawson. Arguably, he DeMarcus Walker had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit. So that's looking like to be a nice addition. So as you can see that Nick Caserio has done a really good job in bringing guys who want to prove themselves, and I think he's gotten praise from other people, saying that this is like one of the smartest things that a GM can do in this kind of weird season. And let's talk about the offense. Tyrod Taylor was on that first drive. He wasn't all too impressive. There was a pass that he threw to Chris Conley that went right through Chris Conley's hands, so I don't blame that on Tyrod. But it was mainly, we were just mainly running the ball on the first drive. And Mark Ingram got many of those snaps. He had 7 carries for 24 yards. His longest rush was for 8 yards. And so it looks like Mark Ingram looks to be like a consistent runner and like a goal line runner almost. Because and on fourth down situations, we were one of two, and we converted one with Mark Ingram, I believe, and we scored a touchdown with Mark Ingram. So he was really hyped about that. I think Mark Ingram, he's definitely a running back too, and David Johnson was MIA this game. He didn't get a single snap. We played Rex Burkhead, we played Darius Jackson, we played Buddy Howell, we played Scotty Phillips. So there's no David Johnson. He's looking like to be running back 3 on this team. But this offense, if not for our defense generating so many turnovers, we really struggled. I mean, Davis Mills from the box score, he was 10 of 16, 115 yards. So he arguably had a better game this game. So it shows that he's getting 1% better every time. And but if you look at like how our team was doing, we were like 0-10 on third down situations. Davis Mills didn't do super well against pressure against the blitz. So that's something that obviously he's going to have to improve upon in this last game to really show himself and see if he shows enough potential to for us in the next draft to maybe take a defensive player instead of a quarterback. If Davis Mills shows that much promise, I don't know. I think we still draft a quarterback despite Davis Mills, but we will still have to see. And yeah, but I think Tyrod's going to be starting the whole season, barring injury. So that's going to be the case. But Davis Mills, when his pocket was clean, when he wasn't getting any pressure, he was able to be very accurate and decisive on throws. So, but yeah, that just dealing with pressure was the main issue. And I think the O-line did pretty good, and Titus Howard is going to be the left guard. And Mark Ingram said that, I'm happy that Titus is my left guard. So that pretty much tells you that, obviously, Titus, that's going to be his new position. And this is probably going to be his third position in 3 years or so. Coming out of college, starting as a left tackle, then moved to right tackle due to the acquisition of Larry Tunsil. And then now we're moving him to left guard. And speaking of right tackle, I think Charlie Heck showed a lot of good flashes. He was creating lanes. He was pushing defenders away. So that was good. I think Max Sharping also played. He did pretty solid as well. Ryan McCollum was decent for us. But yeah, it's going to be really hard to make camp decisions on this team. There's so many guys with promise. And Nico Collins didn't play today due to a muscle pull. So that is... but he could have played, but the doctors wanted to take extra caution. So that was okay. But I think for our offense, I think our offense is going to be pretty... it's going to be stagnant. Like, you're going to see some of these times having trouble to push the ball downfield because we don't really have a superstar as a weapon, because you have Tyrod Taylor, who is a serviceable QB, but he isn't going to really throw the ball super deep at all. And then our receiving room, our best wide receiver is Brandon Cooks. So apart from that, it's like rookies, and then Brevin Jordan, tight end, Jordan Akins, I guess, Farrell Brown. So, I mean, you're going to see these games where our offense is stagnant, and that's probably going to be the reason why we lose games this year, because our defense is actually going to be pretty solid and hold their own this year. But I think our offense could be the thing that holds us back and causes us to have the losing season that everyone is hoping that we get for some reason, and that's projecting us to get. But a lot of good takeaways from this game, the defense. And I think Desmond King had a nice kick return. Alex Erickson did pretty well in the receiving game. I think you might see him moving up on the depth chart. Kaimi Fairbairn, awesome as always. He was 2 for 2 from the field, from field goal attempts. And Cameron Johnston, he's doing amazing from punting wise. His longest punt was 61, and his average punt was 51.5. So that's pretty solid. Philip Lindsay didn't get a lot of rushes this game. He got a lot of rushes the first game. But yeah, I think I'm going to stand by my hot take that David Johnson has more receiving yards than rushing yards, I think. And maybe we might even see David Johnson traded, surprisingly. I don't even know, but he was maybe traded or cut. I don't think it's possible to cut David Johnson, but I think trading him is probably more likely. But yeah, I think our team did. I think they arguably played a little bit better this game than the Packers game. Um, we didn't score as much, but I think we did pretty well. And so that's pretty much it for the video. Let me know your thoughts on last night's game. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank you all for watching. Peace.